So, actually, we both work with kids. I teach part-time kids, and you give therapy to kids and parents. And actually, I also work with parents because, I talk about their kids to them. And, I feel super privileged that I had the chance to teach actually thousands of students over the past of 20 years. And I love my students. I love the parents as well. What I see sometimes, when parents come, when they would say like, my child, I see that my child is striving for perfectionism, or I see that my child is doing this. And most of the time, if not all of the time, you see that back also in the parents. I'm not saying this to the parents, like, hey, but that's what you're doing too. I don't say it because I'm mainly focused on the children, and I don't give therapy. But that is actually, it's almost like it comes big part from the parents, and it is given over to the child, either biologically, genetically, either also like because the parent is modeling that behavior. And whatever you model, the child takes that. I remember so good when I was a child, and sometimes I wasn't careful, and then I was bringing from the dining table plates to the kitchen, and one fell and broke. And one of my dad was really like, "What did you do? Didn't you see this? You have eyes to see." He was so upset. And I was really like, "Oh my God, I should be next time better. And because they wanted to be also perfect in a way, and I took that over. So it's super related to the parents, either, as I said, genetically or via modeling. Would you confirm that if I say this? Would you confirm this as a doctor in psychology?
Yes, there's always a predisposition, right? Especially if you have, it's the genetics, it's such an interesting idea of genetics. What is it that we inherit besides what's in our genes, right? What's in the DNA? It's not just the biological markers. It's also the psychological and the emotional reactions that we have to situations that we inherit from generation to generation, and then it comes out. And so, of course, the nature, nurture, but nurture, if the parent is so hard on the child who has a higher predisposition to anxiety or depression or both, then yes, it's going to come out that way. And whenever a parent comes to me and says, my child is like this, I, in one way or another, in the first session say, okay, well, who has anxiety? And when they say no one, I say, who's never been to therapy? Because it has to come out. And I used to be more polite and more patient. Now I'm like, we have to deal with things like now. Let's cut to the chase. And because if the parent changes, the child, of course, will as well, especially if the child is young, because at that moment, the brain is still malleable. There's still room for development and improvements to be made if the parent gets their organization and what they need in check.
Yeah, I had one parent last time, and the parent asked me like, "Hey, I want that my child reads more and wants to study more, all these things." And I was like, "How about you? Do you read?" "Not really." I was like, "But you can tell her, say, hey, you should read more. But if she never sees you reading, that's not a real model. Just do everything what you want your child does. Just do it, model it." Yeah. And if it is in your child, the child will do,